When most people think about the German war machine of World War II, they usually imagine massive Tiger tanks and giant armored vehicles dominating the battlefield. These machines became legends. They appear in documentaries, movies, video games, and military history discussions. But war is ultimately not won by legends. War is won by economics. It is won by production capacity, labor productivity, industrial mobilization, logistics, and financial sustainability. The central economic question is simple. What if Nazi Germany had abandoned expensive heavy tank programs and concentrated almost entirely on producing improved Panzer IV tanks and the Panzer IV tank destroyers? Would Germany have fielded more armored vehicles? Would military spending have produced greater battlefield results? And most importantly, would Germany have received a better return on its enormous wartime investment? The Tiger tank became a symbol of German engineering. Its armor was formidable. Its gun was deadly. Its battlefield reputation became legendary. But legends often hide accounting problems. The Tiger was expensive. The King Tiger was even more expensive. Both consumed large quantities of steel, transportation capacity, fuel, and maintenance resources. The question German planners should have asked was not, can this tank destroy enemy tanks? The real question was, what is the opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is one of the most important concepts in economics. Every Tiger tank required resources that could not be used elsewhere. Those resources might have produced more Panzer IVs, more trucks, more ammunition, and more aircraft. The German economy suffered from resource scarcity throughout the war. Therefore, every investment decision mattered. The Panzer IV represented something far more valuable than prestige. It represented efficiency. By 1943, the Panzer IV had become a mature production system. Factories understood its manufacturing process. Workers knew how to assemble it. Supply chains already existed. Maintenance crews were familiar with its components. Spare parts were widely available. As production increases, average costs often fall. Manufacturers become more efficient, workers become more productive, output rises. The Panzer IV benefited from all these advantages. The Tiger did not. Imagine Germany makes a strategic decision in 1942. Instead of aggressively expanding Tiger production, Berlin orders a standardization program. The goal is simple: produce as many Panzer IVs as possible. Industrial planners immediately gain several advantages. Production lines become simpler. Tooling requirements decline. Training costs decrease. Spare part inventories shrink. This produces higher output. One of the great lessons of wartime economics is that standardization increases productivity. The United States understood this principle. Germany did not. Instead of concentrating on a few designs, Germany produced numerous variants and competing vehicle types. This created inefficiencies throughout the industrial system. The Jagdpanzer IV is also often overlooked. From an economic perspective, this is a mistake. Tank destroyers frequently offer better value than tanks because they eliminate expensive features. The rotating turret is one of the most complex and costly part of a tank. Removing it reduces manufacturing complexity. Production becomes faster. Costs fall. Mechanical reliability improves. The Jagdpanzer IV retained excellent anti-tank capability while requiring fewer resources. For a country facing industrial constraints, this matters enormously. The German economy never possessed unlimited resources. Steel production faced constraints. Fuel production faced constraints. Transportation capacity faced constraints. Heavy tanks consumed disproportionate quantities of these strategic resources. Every additional Tiger required scarce inputs that Germany increasingly lacked. By contrast, larger numbers of Panzer IVs could have distributed resources more efficiently. The issue was not merely tank production. The issue was resource allocation. Economic warfare is fundamentally a contest over resource allocation. The Allies consistently improved their allocation systems. Germany increasingly struggled. Strategic bombing imposed enormous costs on Germany. Factories faced disruption. Transportation networks suffered damage. Electrical infrastructure came under attack. Industrial output became increasingly vulnerable. Under these circumstances, simplicity becomes valuable. Complex production systems are fragile. Standardized production systems are resilient. If Germany had concentrated on Panzer IV and Jagdpanzer IV production, industrial recovery after bombing attacks would likely have been easier. If Germany had fielded substantially larger numbers of Panzer IVs, several outcomes become possible. More armored formations remain operational. More sectors receive anti-tank coverage. More vehicles are available after losses. The cumulative effect could have produced greater total enemy tank losses despite using less impressive vehicles. This is the difference between tactical superiority and economic efficiency. The United States approached war differently. American strategy emphasized industrial scale. Factories produced enormous quantities of equipment. Standardization became a core principle. Mass production reduced costs. Supply chains expanded. Output increased continuously. The result was overwhelming industrial power. Germany could never match American industrial capacity. But Germany could have learned from American production philosophy. A standardized Panzer IV-centered force would move German industry closer to this model. Not identical, but closer. Would it have changed the outcome of the war? Probably not. This is a crucial point. The economic advantages are real. The production advantages are real. the maintenance advantages are real. Yet Germany faced overwhelming structural disadvantages. The Allies possessed greater industrial capacity, greater access to resources, greater financial depth, greater shipping capacity, and greater manpower reserves. Even an optimized German tank production strategy would not erase these realities. However, it could have increased German battlefield effectiveness. It could have raised armored vehicle output. It could have reduced maintenance burdens. And it could have increased economic efficiency. And it could have made the war more costly for Germany's opponents. The most important lesson is not about tanks. It is about capital allocation. Prestige projects attract attention. Elite systems generate headlines. Advanced technology creates excitement. But sustainable success usually depends upon efficiency. The winning strategy is often not the most impressive solution. It is the solution that delivers the greatest return on investment. The Tiger was impressive. The King Tiger was even more. But neither represented optimal economic allocation for a nation fighting a resource-constrained industrial war. A Panzer IV represented something more powerful. It represented productivity, scalability, and sustainability. And in a war of economics, these qualities matter more than legends. If Nazi Germany had focused primarily on Panzer IV tanks and Jagdpanzer IV tank destroyers, the country would likely have produced more armored vehicles, simplified logistics, reduced maintenance costs, improved readiness rates, and extracted greater battlefield value from every Reichsmark invested. The change would not have reversed Germany's ultimate defeat, but Germany's armored forces would probably have become more efficient. The story ultimately demonstrates a timeless economic truth. In business, finance, and warfare, success rarely belongs to the organization with the most impressive product. Success usually belongs to the organization that allocates resources more efficiently. The real question was never whether the Tiger tank was legendary. The real question was whether Germany could afford it. The answer is increasingly clear. It could not. I hope you enjoyed this episode. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.